What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, and this is SmellGoodz. Appreciate you stopping by, taking time out of your day. In fact, how's your day going? Let me know that in the comments. Let me know how things are going for you whenever you're watching this, all right? But one of the things that, as I'm in this content creation of fragrance space, one of the things I've kind of heard from other content creators is it's kind of, even before I jumped into this space, it's kind of the thing that I think we hear oftentimes, especially if there's things like reviews or when people are doing content around products, is that sometimes people feel as if, well, you never tell us the stuff that you don't like or the things that you regret, right? And so I figured, you know what, let's talk about some of my my fragrance pickups that I'm like, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have done it. All right. So this is that video for those of you that say y'all never hear from us, the fragrances that we regret or the fragrances that we if we had to do it all over again, we would not do it. This is that video for you. So if you want more content like this, and which is honest reviews and honest information regarding fragrances, do me the favor of hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, requesting notifications, and then sharing. And then that way you see both the good, the bad, and the ugly of the fragrance reviews and what I'm putting my nose on. That way you don't make some of the same mistakes that I made, because yeah, I am a blind buy warrior, but you don't have to be. All right. So let's jump in. So I'm going to give you, the first one I'm going to give you is one that I think I've been pretty honest of how I felt about it. And I've got a new fragrance that probably makes this one irrelevant, right? But this one is by the house of Flavia, which is by Stallion, which is the same company that I makes. I forget if it's Off and On or Arm Off, one of those two. I forget which one. But it is Nouveau Ambre Parfum, and this is by Flavia. Now, this is doing its take on Louis Vuitton's, what is it, Ombre No Bad. Here's the thing. Now, what, 3 months into this fragrance, my regret has lessened, okay? Just because when I first got this smelled bad. It just wasn't working. In fact, I think there's a fragrance haul video that I'll probably link in there, and you should probably check that out, because you'll see like my wife's reaction to it. She was like, and my wife does it, she doesn't have a good poker face, right? So this is trying to be that kind of rose oud combination as a fragrance. It's gotten there now, 3 months, 4 months in. But when we first got it, nah, it wasn't it. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. Instead, I would have picked up this one, which I'm just getting and I'm testing, but this one already starts off better. And this is Alchem Gold by Lattafa. This one is in that same vein, but this one doesn't have to, or at least didn't need that maceration process. It started off exactly where I needed to be. I didn't have to think twice about it. And there's going to be a review coming on that one. But my first regret would have been this one, Nouveau Ambre by Stallion, or excuse me, by Flavia. All right. Next one is one that I picked up. I think I picked it up in a rack store. I can't remember where I got it from. But you know, I had never really had any experience with this fragrance. I would see them, or as this brand, I should say, I would see them all the time on Facebook. And so I figured, okay, let's check it out. Let's see what it is. And the thing that it was supposed to be doing a clone cover remix rendition of, or inspired by, is something that it's not in my budget, nor is it on my high on my list of things to get, but it was a fragrance that I'm like, yeah, I could rock that. And so we're talking about by the house, or by the brand, I should say, of Alt. We're talking Stallion, which is, as you can see, inspired by Leighton. This right here, this ain't it. This ain't the move. This just smells like cleaner. It's not even a good lemon pledge. It smells synthetic. It smells like cleaning fluid or what have you. This doesn't work. So if I had to give you another one that I regret picking up, this one right here, that's going to be there. In fact, if you see it, if you have the chance to smell it just so you can warn yourself. But this doesn't, I get where it's going as far as what it's attempting, as far as the inspired by, but it doesn't do the job for me at all. It's not. This ain't it. All right. But this is another one that, had I had the chance to do it all over again, would have stayed right on that shelf in that rack store or wherever I got it from. It would have stayed there. I wouldn't have picked it up. All right. Next one I have for you is going to be One that a couple of these I ordered just because I'm a person when I order something, I don't want to pay for shipping, right? I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay you money to send me what I'm buying from you, right? Um, and so I'll sometimes will get things that are just going to put me over the free shipping threshold, just because if I'm going to pay an additional $6, $7, I might as well have that go to a fragrance that I might wear, I might get some value out of, as opposed to that money just going to essentially you putting a stamp on the box and getting it to me. That's just the way I look at it, the way I approach it. This one is by Lattafa. This is Ejazzi Silver. And this is what it's doing. Its rendition of, I want to say, I've heard two things. I've heard Killian Vodka on the Rocks, I want to say, as well as YSL Blue Electrique. Now, it may be doing those very well, but it doesn't move me, right? As far as the fragrance, it's a nice fragrance. It's a decent fragrance, but it's not a fragrance that I'm easily reaching for. This fragrance, in all honesty, what I've used this for more often than not is I've used it in my diffuser. I've used it in place of, because sometimes we'll have like those essential oils like eucalyptus and tea tree and lemongrass, what have you. Sometimes I'll spritz this in there in the diffuser and in the vaporizer, whatever it is, let that run through there. So it does freshen up the room some, but this doesn't work for me as a scent that I'm definitely rocking. Longevity for this, not even really anything to talk about, anything to write home about. Doesn't really do a whole lot. It's very light. It's very, and not light. It's almost like it's not light intentional. It's like, it's nothing there. So Ejazzi Silver, if I had to do it all over again, I might have just either chose something else or just paid for the shipping. All right. Similar to that is one that, again, I know, in fact, I know specifically when I ordered this with, when I was pre-ordering Hawas Black. And this is another one that I was like just enough short of free shipping for that particular discounter that I was like, let me find something that is going to put me just over free shipping. Not a whole lot. I don't need to blow the budget, but just enough so that I can get this and get what I need. And let me check out the fragrance. So I did my research as far as just what it was. This was in that price point. It was by Lattafa. I'm thinking, well, Lattafa has really not failed me a whole lot yet. They putting out good stuff, putting out great fragrances. Let me check this one out. And this one was 24 karat white gold. Hard to see there. But this one is, in my opinion, doing its attempt on Dolce and Gabbana light blue. It's another light one. Like it does a decent job of getting that fragrance, but it doesn't hold my attention. It doesn't hold my interest. It's there, right? I'll let it macerate some more, see if maybe that's the issue. But so far, I'm not very impressed. And if I had to do it all over again, probably wouldn't be on my list as well either. All right. So that was number 4. And then the last one was one I've heard of this brand just because I've seen them carried like in Macy's, which is really surprising because the price that I see for them in Macy's, and then I see that same one in like TJ Maxx or Burlington, what have you. I'm like, if y'all paying what Macy's is charging you for this, y'all are missing out on the, getting what you want for a lower price. But we're talking about English Laundry, and this is Cambridge Night. This is, if I remember correctly, this is their take, or it's in the vein of Invictus. Does a decent job. Price, yeah. But this, in all honesty, is something that I would probably I wouldn't even give this to my nephews because I've got nephews. My youngest nephew is like turning 18 soon. So this wouldn't be for my nephew. This would be for my nephew like 10 years ago. This would be something I might give to him as a birthday gift. This is not something that I reach for frequently. It's not something that it's a good pickup as far as if you want that scent profile. But if you're looking for something like Invictus that is going to last a long time, this isn't it. There are probably other things that could probably do that job just as well. But if you're looking for something that is just something to throw in your gym bag, it works for that. If you're just looking for something just to throw on to go to the grocery store and sweat that off, and then by the time you get home, you're back to smelling like you normally smell, this works perfectly for that. But if I'm looking at things again that I regret, or if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't do it. This is one. In fact, I've seen a few other English laundries in the rack store that I go to near my house, the TJ Maxx right around the corner, and I've seen a few that smell great, but just because of what I experienced with this, as far as longevity, as far as projection, all that fun stuff, I was like, no, I'll keep my $15. I'll go ahead and put that towards something else that'll be a little better for me. All right. So that was, again, English Laundry, Cambridge Night. Give you that. There we go. So those are 5 fragrances that I have in my collection that if I had to do it all over again, you wouldn't see those in my collection. But also that's telling you and giving you the other side that not everything that we get, that as far as I get, as far as fragrance content and showing this, showing this part of the hobby to you and this part of the of our sport here, if you will. Not everything works out the way we want it to. Not everything works out perfectly. And sometimes there are some misses. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what might be your biggest miss that you might have had in your fragrance journey. And then, of course, do me the favor of hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, requesting notifications, and then sharing. And then meet me in the comments. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.